Well, it's a very cold, frosty morning here in the countryside, and I have to say one of the most important things for us in the winter is really good winter fuel. Living in a 200-year-old Victorian farmhouse, we need to make sure that we're staying really nice and warm and cozy in the winter, especially when there's a good chance that we're going to get snowed in.
So we use a variety of different wood fuels to supplement our central heating. We've got 2 wood burning stoves. We've got one in the living room where we are now and one in the dining room. And we basically play around with different wood fuels to try and get different heat in those rooms. Kiln-dried logs are our core fuel, but we do supplement those fires with different types of briquettes.
The main difference that we've noticed with briquettes and kiln-dried logs is that with kiln-dried logs, you're constantly having to tend to the fire, so you're going to the fire very regularly. And that's great if you're actually in that room and that's convenient for you. But if you're working or you're kind of in and out of that room, the biggest benefit with a briquette is that you can just put it on and leave it for a considerable amount of time. The other benefit using briquettes is also the heat. You can get a lot more heat out of a briquette than you can a kiln-dried log. So it's also dependent on whether we need a lot more heat in those rooms. So if we need a lot of heat for a longer period of time and we want it to be consistent, then we're definitely going onto our briquettes. We're starting our fires with our natural fire lighters, our kindling and our kiln-dried logs. And then as soon as we've got a really nice hot coal base, that's when we're starting to flip over and use our briquettes.
Living in a rural farmhouse, temperatures can drop considerably overnight, so we don't want to wake up to a cold house on frosty mornings. So what we typically do is we build the fire during the course of the afternoon. Before we go to bed, we'll take 1 or 2 night briquettes, put that on the fire, and between those 2 night briquettes, we typically get about 8 hours worth of heating, which just ensures that the rooms are still quite warm when we wake up in the morning and there are still embers on that fire.
And I've got a bit of a trick that if it's really cold outside, maybe it's been snowing and we really need to get those temperatures up through the night, what I'll do is wait until it goes dark outside. As soon as it goes dark outside, we've got our kiln-dried logs on the fire. Wait for those to burn down, stick a heat log on, and a heat log briquette is one of those briquettes that really gives you high impact heat. It's really going to give you a punch of heat. That's going to get the wood burning stove up to a very hot, high temperature. And then after a couple of hours, we put the night briquettes on top of those embers, and we notice that the night briquettes then do a fantastic job of maintaining that hot heat through the night.
So the reason that those 2 briquettes work so well together is that the heat logs are actually a sawdust briquette, which means that they punch out a lot of heat, like you said. The nighttime briquettes are actually made from bark, which means that they deliver a slow and low heat. So getting that punch, as you said, with the fire logs, followed up by the low and slow heat from the night briquettes, is just the perfect formula.
And we're not just using our night briquettes at night, obviously that's in the name, but we do actually use them during the day. So for example, say we're having, maybe Christmas lunch and everybody's going to be here, and so we want to have the fires on during the day, but we don't want to be constantly tending to those fires, then just putting a couple of night briquettes on around lunchtime is fantastic, because we know that we can forget about the wood burning stoves for at least a good kind of like 4, 6, 8 hours, and they're going to do their job and keep us all warm and cozy, but we can just get on and see our friends and family. And because you're getting that longevity out of a night briquette, it's burning for so much longer and giving you that heat for so much longer, we actually found that it's really, really good value as opposed to constantly putting oak logs onto the fire.
Yeah, in the winter they really do prove their value, because one kiln-dried log is going to burn for about 45 minutes. More or less the same price point between that and a night briquette, where you put that night briquette in and it burns for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And so you can weigh it up and you can definitely see that there's a lot more value in the night briquettes.
So if you haven't tried briquettes before, give Lecto night briquettes a go. I think that you're going to be very impressed at just how warm and cozy you're going to be.
And they're now also available in a paper bag, which makes them easy and convenient to carry and store.
So we hope you have a warm and cozy winter.